Here's the start list for the third heat. Jakit Puntong from Thailand, Nok Kiep Huyn, or Huyn Nok Kiep from Vietnam in lane 3, and Ken Teptida from Laos going in lane 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the small morning, the competitors for the men's 200 meters this is only the first round, and this is going to be the third heat.
Well, it's all happening in the men's T11 200 metres. We're getting the word that Tran Man Tung has been disqualified from Heat 1, and we're doing our very best to find out exactly why. We just saw a remarkable performance from Supachai Songpinit, who equalled his fellow countryman Kitsana Jorchoi's games record, and that was just jogging in for the last 15-20 metres. And in this one we've got Jakit Puntong, who was 4th in the 100 metres. We've got Huyn Nok Kiep, who competed in the 100 metres and finished 2nd in his heat, and Ken Teptida from Laos. So I think Jakit Puntong will be in with a good shout of qualifying from this heat, and we will do our very best to sort out what's happened from Heat 1. Well, that's not the smoothest, is it? We've seen that done rather better. Ken Teptida and his guide not really synchronised very well. Ken Teptida only had his 16th birthday a week ago. So 24.01 for Supachai Songpinit in the end, so he didn't quite match the games record. Now Sonoto 24.91. Will that be quick enough to qualify? Well, and we understand that the reason for the disqualification of Tran Man Tung is because his guide crossed the line first, and the regulation is that the competitor must cross the line before the guide, and that has got to be absolutely heartbreaking for Tran Man Tung. I suppose the suspicion is that if the guide crosses the line first, he could be towing the runner through, but that is extraordinary. And our hearts go out for Tran Man Tung, who ran so well, but rules are rules, and his guide should have known the rule, and so disqualification for the Vietnamese. And here's another Vietnamese runner, Huyn Nok Kiep.
Number 184, representing Laos, Ken Teptida.
So Ken Teptida from Laos, the 16-year-old, came 3rd in his heat in the 100 metres.
Of the men's 200 meters T11.
And the red-hot favourite must be in lane 1, Jakit Puntong. Stadium goes quiet. That's Huyn Nok Kiep of Vietnam. So the first will definitely qualify for the final, Second place will only qualify if he's the fastest runner-up from the heats, and I think that's a little unlikely from this heat.
Stand up. Stand up.
Stand up. Somebody's been a bit twitchy.
Stand behind the blocks.
Have to move back behind the blocks again, and then come forward and start the whole process once again.
On your marks.
Well, except I can't see anybody in lane one. Jacket Puntong appears to have scratched, in which case there's only two competitors. So one of these two guys is going to make it through to the final. Win Nok Yep must be favourite. What an opportunity for young Ken Teptida. If he could win this, he would make the final of the 200 metres T11. He's very high in his starting position, and we can see Win Nok Yep is hauling him back in very quickly. Win Nok Yep going very nicely through the 100 metre mark in about 13.9. It's a good time, not great. Win Nok Yep winning by a country mile and crossing the line in 25.06. So by far the slowest of the three heats, but as expected, the Vietnamese qualifying for the final, Win Nok Yep. But there's still the disappointment that his fellow countryman Tran Man Tung was disqualified from that first heat. Well, as we take a look at this, Ken Teptida gets away quite nicely and was going well for about 80 metres or so, but then he starts to struggle. And he's just striding there really, rather than powering. There's no power in that. Legs are just drifting, whereas Win Nok Yep, yeah, it's a good drive all the way to the line. Makes sure that he crosses the line first rather than his guide. And Ken Teptida coming across the line on his own, but he won't be making the final. 3.46, Win Nok Yep, 21 years